Hey, ready for another sneak peek on the AI executive summary? Got two things that we're going to talk to you about. And you know what? You just got to grab AI by the circuits. Want to learn how? Stick with us. We'll be right with you. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome to Wolf's Watch. I'm Wolf, and happy first day of summer, I do believe, June 20th. Look, ready to grab AI by the circuits. Come on, you're a business leader. Here's two things that you need to do. We're going to have time for one, and we'll put it in a future sneak peek, maybe tomorrow. So here's the two things: getting the right talent on your team so that you can leverage AI, but also how do you integrate it into your day? And we're going to talk about how do you integrate it into your day, because here's a practice that you need to do, a habit that you need to have so that, like other top performing business leaders, you can just grab it by the circuits and take advantage of artificial intelligence. So here's one of the things. So in terms of daily habit, how do you put AI into your day as a business owner? Right? You're not going to become one of the top prompt engineers, are you? Now, maybe in your business it makes sense. I'm thinking probably not, right? If you've got 40 employees, 70 employees, you've got things that you need to be doing other than crafting prompts for Chat GPT or whatever generative AI your company's implementing, or doing the coding for AI tools. Unless you've got somebody else in the CEO chair running the company for you, maybe you're heading up technology. A colleague of mine does that. He's the CTO, chief technology officer of companies that he starts, builds, and sells off, and he's done that for many companies, and not just two or three, but quite a string of them. I believe he's well into the double digits now. So maybe that's your role. Still, how do you put it into your daily habit? What do you do with your team? How do they bring it to you? How do you make sure you're coaching them so that they are on top of what's happening with artificial intelligence, but not doing a bunch of time wasting when need to get other stuff done? So now hang on, we'll come back to that. Just want to share with you the banner that's going here. That's the address to get more information on the executive briefings, the executive summary briefings that are occurring. Those are 45-minute slices, different topics set. You got 3 topics each time, 45 minutes, lots of Q&A, small groups, interactive, not recorded. So if you're not there, you miss the content. Now, coming back to what I was saying about the daily habit. Do you hold a morning meeting to start the day with your team? Now, manufacturing company that I worked with a number of years ago. Oh, let me make sure I get this right. So we were turning around, and this was a bigger team. So this is one team, one manufacturing, one product product development and manufacturing program within a company of about 300. So working on our entire product, from design to manufacture to delivery, have 150 people. So we had 7 of us that were responsible for the management of it. When I came on a team, we were in turnaround mode because we had an extremely pissed off customer over some problems that we were having. This was technical product development side, not manufacturing side of things. But that created a huge dilemma because we're attempting to get some product development issues and customer satisfaction issues straightened out while ramping up production at the same time. Maybe you've been there. It's always very exciting. So what we would do is every morning we would start out 7 a.m. standing meeting. It's a conference room with no tables, no chairs. Everybody would show up, and the 7 of us with the executive that was responsible for the overall activity, a whole shot. And you had better be ready for your 2 minutes, because that was about all you got. If you had some issues, you could maybe stretch it to 5. But think about that. We wanted to be in and out in like about 20 minutes. You got 7 people. Can't really go more than 2 or 3 minutes per without the meeting becoming very long. So we had to come in here. It's like, bam, bam, bam. Where am I? What are my issues? What am I delivering today? What did I deliver yesterday? If I need help? Boom. Ask for it. Schedule it with who we need the help from. So we coordinate. That gets handled outside. Boom. Next. Boom. Next. Boom. Next. 2 to 3 minutes executive briefing so that we all knew what everybody on the team was doing, who needed who needed help and who would be helping with that, who's helping whom resolve issues, and off you go. And my predecessor, before I was brought onto that team, was not on the ball with it. That's how I got that opportunity. Are you doing that with your team? Right? Just to start the day, to set the tempo. It didn't necessarily have to be that kind of fire under the gun. Excuse me, quite literally in that case, because we were looking to lose the contract, could have shut down the company, and we did. We ended up winning big. We got it done. The focus that came from that was a big part of that. Now, do you do that with your teams? This is a best practice to begin with. You should be having a morning. I don't know when I say you should. Best practice is to have a brief meeting to set the tone for the day, and just do that. It's like, what are people doing? What are the things that need to get done today? What challenges might someone need a hand with, so that can get coordinated and off the table. It's not a problem solving meeting. It's just a let's get the day started meeting. And I talked to a high profile executive that has a rather large company, but for his executive team, he sits down every morning and they do first, what are they grateful for? What can they compliment each other about? Then what's on the agenda for the day? What are at least the 3 things that each person needs to get done? If there's any challenges or issues that need to get handled, to coordinate working that after the meeting, and boom, start the meeting. And it's a quick meeting, 15, 30 minutes max, that sets the tone for the day. AI should be part of that meeting. What are we doing with AI? What issues are coming up with AI today? Is there something new that everybody needs to know about? A new tool, a new report in the media, a new success or a new setback within the company in terms of implementation? What needs to be coordinated and handled outside the meeting? You need to integrate that into your daily habit. That also needs to be integrated into another thing that a lot of high performers, you're probably doing this, Monday morning status brief, a little bit longer. Friday, what are we going to get done this week? Friday, what did we get done this week? What are we going to do next week? It's a little bit longer meeting, a little bit deeper dive, so that it sets the tone for the week. Make sure everybody is heading out and doing an out brief at the end of the day on Friday before everybody heads out. Make sure everybody goes home joyful as possible, right? Set for the week to come. If there's any work going on over the weekend, we're not going to discuss that. Let's just keep this a standard work week. And I know sometimes I do the same thing. I'll catch bits and pieces on, entrepreneurial life, right? 24/7, 365. It's a life. It's not just a job. Working with staff, though, they've got other lives beyond the office. So making sure that everybody's closing, starting the week off on Monday on a good note, closing the week out on a good note, and they're prepped so that when they walk into the office on Monday, or when they log back in online on Monday, because I've talked to business owners that do this virtually. They do a virtual meeting or do a physical meeting, depending on how you're doing. You're probably doing a hybrid at this point, or virtual with your company. Keeps costs down, but working that into the discussion. And again, where does AI fit into that? Where are you carving out time so that your new AI expert or experts can weigh in with what needs to be brought to your attention and everybody else's in those meetings? The brief daily status, and then the weekly, what are we doing? How did we do? And what are we prepping for next week meetings? And then right now things are moving really fast, because normally I would say, it'd be an in-depth brief monthly, but particularly for AI, particularly for other things that are changing so quickly right now, you should be doing an in-depth weekly status. And here I go again, saying should. And here's a best practice. Do a weekly when things are going really bam, 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 really fast, right? Normally it'd be more like a monthly. For example, company that I worked for, I was on the C-17 aircraft program. Actually, it's considered a weapon system. That's technical definition for a C-17 weapon system. Big honking cargo plane. We would the improvement projects. So it's a longer story on that. I'm going to keep short and not get into details on it. So we were working on projects related to manufacturing improvements on that aircraft. We would status our projects once a month, and it would be an in-depth meeting. We'd have status charts, we had dashboards. That's the words I'm looking for. Dashboards. It's like what's red, what's green, what's yellow, what's green. So you get up, you do an in-depth, you go, here, if you got any red, here's what you do, boom, 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 red. This is where I'm having some challenges, so we can talk about that. Things that are yellow at risk, this is why it was risk. This is what to worry about, what not to worry about. And then green, yeah, you don't really need to worry about the green, right? Because it's green, it's on track. Doing that level of detail related to fast-moving projects like AI on a weekly basis. What is that's happening? What's the summary on it? What's your dashboard summary on it and the people that are responsible for it? We'll talk about the talent in another sneak peek. Watching the time here. We're going to wrap this up, keep it crisp for you, and I've got to be on stage top of the hour. We're coming up on bottom of the hour. So here's the deal. Do the statuses on a weekly basis to keep track of what's moving fast. Now, if it's not moving that fast, back it up. Go to a monthly. But right now, I'd highly recommend as a best practice, go weekly. There's some projects that I've worked on that we were doing stuff so fast that we did daily briefings, daily outbriefs. We're going, okay, how did we do today? What we got to do tomorrow? Until we got certain things in place, then we could start to slow it down. Until certain things stabilized, we would slow it down. But also depends on the volume of business that you have, right? If you're doing high volume manufacturing, for example, you most likely have the status on a daily basis. Like we did with the first example I had. One of the things was we had 2 shifts running. So every morning, the management team needed to brief top executive that we were all reported to on what was happening that day. So everybody knew here's where we are, because things are flowing through the factory. Make sure you can see my hand here. I'm going off camera. Things are flowing through the factory. Make sure everything's coordinated, synced up, and flowing as needs be, so that we're not going to miss a delivery or a critical report date to a customer, because they want to know how things are going too. Keep that in mind. And then you bring the AI talent into it, special spotlight, because that should be something that you're keeping, that you have front of mind for everybody in terms and beginning to not just deploy, but continuing to improve on, okay, what skills we need to bring in? How do we upskill the people we've got? And again, talent going to be a future topic. So that's just a quick, in your daily habit, what are you doing? And then third thing on that, what are you researching? So you get a little bit of private time. How much time are you carving out to check headlines, look at what the business discussion is, check the business publications that you read, right? And depending on your industry and type of business, it varies. So I'm not going to name headlines because it may not apply to you, but there's certain things that you read, right, to keep track of what's going on business-wise, economically, that may affect your business, that may affect you and your business. Where do you how much time do you carve out per day? Where do you put that in your day so that you can stay on top of it and then set aside, okay, need to bring this up with the team, or need to look into this more personally, a little bit in depth personally. Don't become a Chat GPT prompt engineer. However, toy with it a little bit. Get some what we called seat time when I was working with the design engineers back in the, starting on C-17, the C-17 aircraft. Working with the design engineers, they call it seat time when they're doing computer-aided engineering, computer-aided design, and learning the software systems. So you get a little bit of seat time and see what it's about. So there's some familiarity. You don't have to be the expert at it, but just enough to have seen it. You don't want to have in the grocery store, don't know what a scanner is, what a QR code scanner is. It's not barcodes anymore. Now it's QR codes. I don't know about you, but I've been through that. Made a fool of myself when the first time I saw a QR code. I was like, what the hell is that? That way you can lead the conversation, right? Because it's all about you asking the right questions, leading the conversation, coaching your team in order to draw that out with them, have them focused on what they need to know, what talent gaps are in their teams, so that you can fill that in your company and be able to grab AI by the circuits and get it working for you. That's today's Wolf's Watch. It's just a sneak peek on the AI for executives, executive summary. Go to this location, tinyurl.com/AI for CEOs, and for more information on the full length executive summaries that we're doing. Thanks for being a part of the conversation. I'm Wolf. This is Wolf's Watch. Hope you're enjoying the first day of summer, and I will see you out on the trail. It is summertime. Enjoy.